Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to create now a drawing of this component. We'll call it a guide or something like that. Well, it's a simple component that you made earlier. It's 3D views, so we're going to create just a 2D drawing of it. So first thing I want to do, notice there's no material applied to it, so I'm just going to apply a material to it. I'm just going to pick a 1060 alloy, and it's an aluminium alloy, and that's that done. So I'm going to save that, minimize it down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find my template drawing that we've saved. There's my template. Wherever you saved it, you can open your template drawing. There's my template drawing. So before we start, I'm going to have a quick look over here. Sheet format, properties, 1:1. That's what I want at the moment. So to fetch my part in, because it's minimized, I should be able to go to my palette view. Should be able to find it. It's open. And if it's not open, click on the browse button, go to where you saved your models, and open it there. So these are my views. So I could use standard views. I could drag them in. I'm just going to drag that in. So dragged in a view 2:1. Okay, and I don't want it double size. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go down to the scale button, use custom scale 1:1, put it in. Didn't work. Does it happen like that? 1:1, job done. It's off that now. I can create projected view. So my projected view would be my front view. There's my front view, and I can project the view off my front view, which is my right side view. I'm going to put my right side view in there. Projected off, it means that they're all aligned for me. The last thing I can do, I'm going to drag in an isometric view, but I'll leave it large scale for now. I'm going to change it towards the end. So those are my three main views. If I want to make some room on my drawing, I can move these around. Plenty of room on my drawing. I can think about how I lay things out in a minute. What I do want is, I want these with hidden details. This is fine rendered, but I don't want these rendered. So click on that view, the first view I brought in, click on display hidden lines visible, and that gives me that view. So the one thing we really want to do is to get a detailed view of this little portion here. And a detailed view, it just breaks a view out. So I've got a detailed view. I'm just going to go roughly in the center, and I'm just going to drag it to about there, and drag it down and drop it as a detailed view. Again, I can change the scale of this view, and I might do that for this instance, because I don't really need it enlarged. And it tells me what scale it's been drawn at as well. The other thing is, look, it says D. I can reposition the D, but I can also change it. I want it to be view A. Job done. So that's my thing. Now, what I should have done before I did all that, one of the things I forgot to do was to save this, not as a template now, but as a drawing. So I'm going to create, before it gets any further, drawing exercise 02. We've got to do this early on, otherwise it's going to corrupt our template and make it difficult for us later on. So now I've got my views. Well, I can start putting my dimensions on. So annotation, smart dimension, think about the dimensions I'll need. Well, I need the overall length. I could do with the overall width. I could do with the width of this little rib in there. I need a height. I'll put that at 10. I'll work off the base. 28. I'll do with that one and that one. And if I grab this one and drag it out, now what I can do with this dimension, because this is 24 square, if I come down here, I've got a series of symbols. Click on square, and it adds 24 squared to that for me. So I'd like to tidy that up a bit. I'm going to force the arrows inside, so go to leaders, force the arrows inside. That's done that for me. So what am I left to do? Well, I need to detail this piece up here, so I'm actually going to come down and zoom in on this a little bit. And I could do with the distance from there to there, which is 3 mil. I could do with the height of it, which is 12 mil. So drag that out to there. I could do with the distance from there to there, 7mm, and well, I can put the 18mm there. On the 18mm, I'm tempted to force those arrows inside, tidy that up a little bit, maybe the same with the 12. There we go, nice and neat, tidy. So I've now got the position of the square in relation to this outside edge, and I've got more or less everything I need. I don't need to put in many more dimensions. I can work out the height of this, minimal. Remember, only need sufficient dimensions to make it possible for us to position it and to work with it. So yeah, quite happy with that. So the last thing I want to do is to fill in my title block. So go to my properties box, give it a date, 15/12/17, give it a description, we'll call it a guide, give it a drawing number, EX02, give it a material, aluminium. Okay, job done. Save it, and that's sufficient. I could change the scale of this. I can click on here. Again, I can scale it down to 1:1 if I want to. Just tidies my drawing up. Little problem there, look. 60 jumped up. So what I'm going to do is just going to drag that down, tidy it up, look over my drawing, make sure I'm happy with everything, save it again, and that becomes that drawing complete. So the next one we'll do, we'll have a look at how we create a section view, cut through the center of something to show detail a little bit more, and then we'll move on from there.